Good evening and welcome, race fans, to the CRA Street Stock Series powered by Race Sim Nation and presented by the Eskimo Brothers on Twitch. Tonight, we're very excited to bring you live action from the Salem Speedway for 100 laps. I am one half of the broadcast team, Tom Torrey, and my right hand man, as always, the one, the only, Andy Bisay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So first off, if you saw the replay of the last race at Bristol, Travis McKinney pulled off a huge win, as it's still a force who has gone unmatched for most of the season. We'll try to get Travis in here before the race, just to discuss the season up to this point. Yeah, yeah, Andy. If I had to take a guess, my pick would be Heath Helton. You know that I call him Captain Consistency for a reason. He's always lingering up near the front. He is. He's always near the front, and always seems like he's unfazed when things get crazy. Throughout the year, we've seen that he constantly runs his line and doesn't let anyone really run him off of it. I think if he puts in a little bit more time in practice, he would really be more of a contender for the championship. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. And to add to that, it seems as some of our veteran sim racers are starting to put it together too. This mod, in comparison to our Cup, Truck, and X-Fin mods, really are very different across the board in reference on how the vehicle drives, the speed you're traveling at, and how technical you really need to be. But as the season rolls along, I am hoping that we'll get progressively more competitive. Indeed.
We've got Travis McKinney leading the way with 300 points. Heath Helton at 291, with Dwayne Hall tied with him also at 291. We got Jerry Hinkle rounding it for at 272, and Paul Hahn with the top five at 268. From 6 to 10 down, we got Brett Hudson, Sean Goodman, Joey Fulkerson, Brian Niels, and Jared Bartlett rounding out the top 10. And I think we have a few guys who are really close just outside of the top 10 as well.
Yeah, that's right. Some of the guys that aren't going to be here tonight, most notably Brett Hudson, who's been on a tear in the CRA Street Stock Series.
Yeah, if
Jared
he could
Bartlett
just
as
get
well
off
is
the
not going to be
throttle
here
for
tonight.
once, he'd come out here and
Yeah.
run good with us. Love that guy. Love
Yeah.
watching his videos on his Facebook page. Make sure to check out Brett Hudson Motorsports. Love to see that guy come out and
Exactly.
compete.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that, those guys aren't out here a little bit more just because, Jared Bartlett, another one of those guys that is really, really good. You noticed, what was it? Um, a couple races ago, he actually took the checkered flag. Let me fact check myself here. Berlin Raceway, that's the one that he took the checkered flag at, and that was a great race. Since then, he's kind of been absent. So, Jared, if you're watching tonight, hope you get back out here soon. And yeah, you're missing out.
Yeah, definitely. We like seeing everybody out here running laps, and this track is a little challenging, so we'll see how the race goes tonight.
Yeah, notably, you guys will see out at Salem the high line is what they're preferably going to run here. Low line ain't going to get you anywhere. So, and some new rules tonight to add to that. I don't know if you guys are checking out America's Stock Car on Facebook, or the Eskimo Brothers on Facebook for that matter. There are some new rules that we'll go through in a little bit here. But as far as the standings go, this is the way it looks. Um, the way the points work is they take the two worst races that you're at, or if you don't show up, and they knock them away. So now, as the points will keep accruing here, you'll see, some of it will start to change more. We've only been through four races or five races of the season, mind you. I think it's still the cream still has yet to rise to the top, but I think Travis McKinney right now is holding it down. Yeah, what next slide we're going to show you here is going to be our schedule here coming up, what we have for the rest of June, and I do believe July. for 200 laps. Yes. Right. Oh yeah. We'll see. Let- Oh yeah, with the trucks. No, there was only one other caution, I believe, and that's the one I caused when I lagged into the wall. So, um, besides the stage ending, it was a great race. Andy brought home third. Kevin Kelly Jr. won with Frank Simano second. And I got to tell you, the truck series is really starting to heat up as we're a couple weeks in. We got about 10 weeks left to go, but we got to stop Frankie and Jr. for sure. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. We'll have to schedule that. Um, other things we're going to do here before we get into some live action. If you do want to cut it to the camera there, Andy, go right ahead. I'm going to get in some driver interviews here. Yep, that's what I'm going to do right now.
User was moved to your channel.
Hey, Travis, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, you're live here with the Eskimo Brothers here for the race here tonight here at Salem. How you feeling?
What's going on, guys? Nervous.
Nervous? How so?
Just not enough practice this track. This track can be real tricky. Um, just trying to keep it all underneath me and, you know, get used to it.
How much time would you say you've had into this track so far?
The 175 laps I put in today.
Ooh. Oh, that's a rare thing for you.
Yeah, usually I've been, I do 400 or 500 laps per race. This
Yeah.
track, it's not one of my favorite tracks, but it's, I don't know, it can be fun, but it can be ruthless at the same time. It's unique because usually Salem you want to run between half a car to a car length off the wall. Well, turn four, if you get up too high, it's too loose, and if you get down too low, it's too loose. So you kind of got to straddle about a car length off the wall. Turn one and turn two is not too bad. You can run pretty much all over the track, but three
Yeah.
and four, if you get too low and the SM wants to step out, if you get too high, the wall will grab you or it tries to step out again.
Wow. Sounds like you got your hands full this evening.
It's gonna be fun, but it's gonna be wild at the same time.
Yeah, no,
I'm just hoping we can get some long green flag runs in, and this track's it's a lot of momentum.
yeah.
It's a rhythm track, I should say. So a lot of short runs is, I think, if we get cautions, they'll just read cautions.
Well, I'm not going to waste any more of your time here tonight, Travis. I know you got since you don't have a lot of practice, and we'll let you get back to doing your thing. Thanks for joining us, and maybe we'll talk to you after the race.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Travis.
User was moved out of your channel.
Now, if anyone out there has any interest in racing along in this series or any other series, please reach out to American Stock Car on Facebook. It doesn't matter if you're the most experienced driver or being inexperienced and just starting out. As long as you have a wheel and a passion for racing, we would love to get you in. Again, that's American Stock Car on Facebook to inquire. Andy's going to show us here. He's going to take us out to some live action.
Yeah, we're riding around with Heath Helton here now. It's just being a little funky on me, but we got her. We got some cool camera views tonight too. It's really excited about that. Some cool stuff.
Yeah, we got to thank Dwayne Hall at RSN for setting that stuff up. Got some great views. A little bit different than what you normally will see when we broadcast, but tonight's going to be especially unique.
Want to let anybody know who might be watching us too. We've got a pretty awesome, funny deep freeze show that we premiered a couple weeks ago. It's a sports talk comedy variety show. Tom and I kind of jump in there, talk about sports, and then play a sports related game. So if you're interested in that type of thing at all, check that out on Tuesday nights at 8.
Yeah, it's you know, a lot of my stupidity when I've been drinking. So come on and have some fun.
So it looks like we might have a special treat for the folks. I think Tom is going to drive the track tonight.
We'll see about that.
As we ride around with Travis McKinney, he's getting around there with Heath Helton. Let's see if any action ensues here in the practice time. See, if I had my choice, I would have raced last week at Bristol. 2 weeks ago at Bristol. That was a track that I actually felt like I was comfortable at. I kind of knew the line already because we raced there with Cups. So go through some kind of little tidbits that we had, some information as we see Travis McKinney getting a little bit too hard on the throttle coming through there. Get you folks back to a live track car. Jump back with Heath. Looks like at Lucas Oil Raceway we had Heath Helton at the pole. And Anderson Speedway went to Dwayne Hall the pole. And Berlin, Travis McKinney, and Adrenaline Speedway, all both Travis McKinney. And Bristol, it looked like Heath took the pole. So we'll see who can jump out and take that pole position this evening.
Sorry for not talking there, guys. I'm setting up my wheel here.
Well, if you're setting up your wheel, then you better be racing. Have you even taken any laps at this track at all?
A few.
I mean, I barely could make any laps. But I see that the line I was running was definitely not the correct one, because these guys are running a real high line. As you see, Heath is all the way up on the wall there.
I'll pick a yellow car so everybody can see my ass.
A ride around with Dwayne Hall in the number 55 race-winning Chevrolet. So how's it going over there, Tom? Still with me? Lost me? Lost you.
Just trying to get out here and kind of having a hard time.
Take a little ride along with Howard Pittman. To check out Tom, see how he does. I know he hasn't had many laps. I don't know how many you've taken, but we'll see how he fares. Yep, that's what I see everybody else doing too, riding that high line. Oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. You know, I consider myself to be a pretty good truck expert.
It just goes to show you, man. This is hard. This is hard. You know, like a lot of people say they could just come out here and do this and no problem. Let me throw a controller on it. I mean, you're a pretty like you just said, you're an experienced driver at this game and you know various mods of this game, but this one in its own with the open setups and the way they drive, it's very different.
Gotta let the tires warm up.
Which did we go over our new rules tonight, Tom?
No, we have not.
So anyways, the new rules tonight are going to be that there will be no tire changes on pit stops whatsoever unless there is a blown tire. And if someone goes in to change a blown tire, they not only will lose the laps that it takes for them to get the tire changed, but they also will sit at the end of pit road for at least one lap before they're allowed to come back onto the track. Basically, this is trying to simulate the way it would be in a real world race at a short track. If any of you have checked out the broadcasts in the past with some of our races, although there's a lot of cautions, that allows people to go in and hit those pits and change tires, and that just kind of is not how it's supposed to be. So and typically anybody who goes and checks out a short track race, if you go check out your local short track, most of these guys aren't even allowed to go into the pits unless they crash their car. And if they blow a tire, they've only got one set of tires for that race. And I mean, a lot of these guys don't have the money to just have pits, you know, and change out tires like that. They've got their one set of tires for the night. If they blow one, they're done. They go home. Or they stay, or they hit the concession stand for some brews. Looks like maybe qualifying here shortly, or no? No, maybe?
We're getting there.
I know we're trying to Make sure everybody's out here that needs to be. Might have had some delayed drivers this evening. As we take a look at Jerry Hinkle in the number 12, Ray Bestis. Love that car. Such a beautiful paint job. I can see you, Tom, ahead of him. Looks like you're finding your line there. I was talking to the mentor before the race, and slow is fast at the short tracks. I'm thinking you should have just drove the broadcast car, Tom.
I just want to be everybody could like see my ass instead of, you know, that black car that you can't see.
I suppose it makes sense. That is something that we have thought about in the future. For some of the viewers might be able to help pick our paint schemes. As we see Travis McKinney spin out and head back to the pits to restart his run, but that's kind of interesting. He mentioned before the
everybody's
race.
having trouble. It's not just
Right?
not just one person.
It's a tough track.
See, I'm almost a full second back of the fastest person, which is Travis, but when it comes to like fifth, sixth, and seventh, I'm right there. So we'll see.
Well, right, and if Travis is going to run like that all race, and you guys actually manage to stay under green for a while, he's not going to win. And I'm sure he was one of the few people who wasn't happy about the new rule change. And I think we are getting ready for qualifying.
I'm actually heading up to the drivers' meeting. I'm gonna qualify at least and see where it goes.
Okay, so that's
I'll be
awesome.
right back.
No problem.
Buddy left your channel.
Just want to let anyone who might be checking us out, if they have any interest in racing along in the series or any other series that we talk about on the shows, please reach out to American Stock Car on Facebook. Doesn't matter if you're the most experienced driver, just being there with a wheel and the passion to get out on the track. As you see, Tom's going to take a run tonight after having hardly any laps on this track, so that should be interesting to watch him race and try to broadcast. He's up in the drivers' meeting. Again, that's American Stock Car on Facebook, or any of our, broadcasts will definitely send you to the right place. But since they are having the drivers meeting and they're going to do qualifying here, I'm going to take us to our quick break that we usually do right before the race, let these guys get qualified, and when we get back it will be race time.
Caution laps count. All right.
Buddy joined your channel.
Welcome back to the CRA Street Stock Series, powered by Race Sim Nation and presented by the Eskimo Brothers on Twitch. I'm Andy Bisag along with Tom Torrey. We're hanging out in the broadcast booth, or at least I am. Tom has decided in a surprise twist to race in the event this evening, which is pretty cool. He is here in the booth with us currently as we see his car on pit road. They just got done with qualifying. We got a little 5-minute happy hour session for the drivers to make some last-minute adjustments.
Yep, that's right. And if this is your first time with us, the setups are open, which means the drivers and their teams can make whatever changes allowed on the car. It's very intricate, so the gearheads can do what they love to do best and tinker. But they should be careful. Too much tinkering could end your night. Also, just want to throw out there congrats to Heath Helton tonight, getting his I think second pole of the season. So looks like he's going to be leading us out tonight.
So how'd you feel out there in qualifying?
It's a beast.
Yeah, I know this track is quite tough. Maybe that might be part of the reason of our smaller field this evening, but hey, it'll be just like a heat race, so whatever.
I think it's availability right now for some of these guys.
Well, yeah, I know some of our street stock drivers, they're in the middle of their season in real life right now, so we can't blame them for not being able to show up for the sim races, but they do try to make as many as they can.
Right. I'm gonna go and take some hot laps here and see what happens.
Do it to it. I'd like to thank anybody who stopped by to check out the broadcast this evening. Make sure to hit that follow button on Twitch. If you're on the mobile app, it is on the top right. If you're on the desktop, it is in the top middle. As we watch our pole winner, Heath Helton, take some laps around this beast of a track here. It'll be really interesting tonight to see how it affects the race with the change in the tires. The drivers this evening will not be able to change a tire during a caution unless there is a blown tire. If they do blow a tire, they will be forced to sit at the end of pit road for an entire lap. Tom, the entire broadcast just saw you rear end whoever that was.
That was Travis. I'm sure he's not happy about that.
I'm sure he's not.
I'm gonna go as far as I can go. If ends up not working out, I will drop back out and jump back in the booth.
Hey, you know, I admire you for trying to take one for the entire team and drive in the race this evening and help fill the pack up. It's, you know, it's kind of necessary. It's all right. If I had the means to do it, I would try to go out there too. But as I said earlier, I would have much rather driven at Bristol.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But hey, if it doesn't go too horribly, maybe in the future you can make that a regular thing and you can start driving in the series.
We'll see about that. I just like being here.
Well, right, it is kind of the thing, right? It is the whole thing.
I have a feeling Sargent is gonna kill me tonight.
Yeah, I know Douglas and I were racing pretty hard on Monday, along with Joe and Jerry Hinkle at the end there. That was pretty wild.
I think it's gonna be super hard to pass here tonight. So I'm just gonna take it easy. If I start feeling uncomfortable, I might just park her up. I'm just here to have fun. And again, thank you to everybody who came out tonight and checked us out.
give the folks at home a little view of what the times were like. They can see how that went. It looks like Howard and Brian did not qualify, or they got disqualified. So Tom, you're starting up in 5th.
No, it'll switch back down. This is just happy hour times.
Oh, happy hour times. That's right. They haven't taken times yet. But who did take the pole? Heath did. Well, I guess we'll have to get the starting grid in just a minute.
All right, fans. So the race is about to begin. It's going to be 100 laps at the Salem Speedway. I'm going to try my best to hold out as long as I can. But Andy, go ahead and run down the starting grid.
Well, well, yeah, once it loads into the race.
No, when she loads.
I mean, I see Jerry and Doug are getting into it already here at the beginning of the race, so this could be an interesting little heat.
It's going to be a short night for me. I have a big feeling.
As we wait for the game to sync up and the drivers hit pit road. A couple little views of the track. Some of the camera angles we'll be seeing this evening, not the infield obviously. Starting on the pole, we got Heath Helton is outside. We have Travis McKinney. Behind Heath, we have Dwayne Hall and Howard Pittman. Jerry Hinkle is going to start in the 3rd row with Brian Niels next to him. Rounding out the final row, we've got Tom Torrey and Douglas Sargent.
I really don't know how I feel about this, but here we go.
Just be happy that you're in the back. All you gotta do is just keep it steady and don't spin out. A lot of really nice paint jobs out there. We say it every week. Thanks to Bancroft Racing for the work they did on some of these cars. I think they did a majority of them. I know Jerry paints his own cars. That's, as I've said, I love that number 12 Ray Bestis car. So it'll be interesting to see how we go on the double file restart, because this track really has only one real good line, so watch for anybody who takes that inside line to be pushing up towards the wall there. So we see the pace cars heading off here. Looks like they're getting lined up. They're heading to green. Let's go Eskimo. Oh, and Dwayne Hall got a little squirrely on that first turn there, trying to keep up with Heath and Travis, as those two are somehow able to pull a double file line. Looks like Travis is going to fall in behind Heath and kind of hold it. I see Dwayne falling back there. It might be part of strategy. We might be letting Travis and Heath fight it out up in front. It looks like Jerry Hinkle had a spin out there. We'll see if he's able to get back out on the track. Oh, as we see McKinney get into Helton a little bit and give him a little nudge, just letting him know he's there. Oh, as he gets into the throttle, and looks like he's going to be able to take that inside line. Is he going to be able to hold it? The number 5 should have the faster line on the outside, and he definitely does. And he's able to bring it around, and Travis had to slow down significantly to be able to hold that inside line. As we see Travis making a move on Heath again on that inside line. I just don't think it's going to work for him. Travis is being really aggressive early. If these guys are able to stay under green, that's going to really hurt them. But I think that battle between those two up front has allowed Dwayne Hall to catch back up. He's only a few car lengths back now. And Travis McKinney has regained the lead by a car length, and he's gonna try to push it as hard as he can, as usual. As we see Heath, he's trying to hold that line, but he's kind of sliding out in the turns a little bit. How's it going in there, buddy? Are you doing all right driving there, Code Broadcaster?
Living La Vida Loca. And there goes Jerry Hinkle. Jerry Hinkle
I
might
see that.
get into me here.
I think Jerry's got some rough tires because he did spin out, or something happened to him. I saw a lot of smoke. We're here riding along with you, Tom. As we see Brian Neal's got spun out somewhere. He's down at the bottom of the track. Oh, Tom Torrey! Nice partial save. As we see, Travis McKinney's gained like 4 or 5 car lengths on the cars behind him there. Oh, Travis is hit right behind you, Tom. Stay low. There'll be a spotter for you. Get you folks a little action camera with our resident points leader, Travis McKinney, currently. Heath and Dwayne have fallen back a little bit. We've got a lot of green flag racing, so we'll see if that's going to affect Travis's tires here in the long run. Well, we got Travis leading the pack with Heath and Dwayne holding up a steady line behind him in second and third. Behind him we got Doug Sargent and Howard Pittman, Tom Torrey holding his line, and Jerry Hinkle rounding out the pack. Tom, I don't think you're doing too bad for only having a handful of practice laps before this. Tires probably getting hot now. I don't blame you if you don't say anything. Car's probably hard to hold. Looks like Brian Neal's decided to park it up for the night. Somehow these boys have managed to stay under green flag racing. I think we've had 3 spinouts but no caution.
I know I'm faster than Sargent and Hinkle.
Well, just hold your line steady. You never know what's going to happen with them tires once you get into this long run here. So it looks like we're going into about lap 20 here, 21. Travis is still pulling out ahead. Is anybody going to be able to catch this man? Want to thank Race Sim Nation for allowing us the opportunity to broadcast this mod, and definitely if you have any interest in checking it out or jumping in here and racing in a car with us, check out American Stock Car on Facebook. Can't stress it enough, as we see Travis spinning the tires a little bit, getting some smoke. I wonder if some of this lap traffic might be concerning them a little bit. The setups are open in this series, so for anybody who's a gearhead might be checking this out, you know, you'll be able to tinker with some cars and they get it to be as close to simulation as possible, so not as close to real life as possible, I should say. Take you folks for a little in-car action with Travis as we watch him try to navigate this track with some really hot tires. And he is just squeezing it right up next to the wall. And a funny story that I'll share with the folks at home and with you, Tom, I don't think you and I actually spoke about this, but recently at one of the short tracks, I believe it might have been Lucas Oil Raceway, there was some drivers that were investigated for putting Kevlar inserts into their tires before the race. Now, after some investigation, they didn't find anybody with these inserts in their tires, but they did some testing with it, and they found that the drivers were able to increase the life of their tire over a long run, but they actually had much slower times in qualifying action. The caveat to all of that was that these inserts cost $100 a piece, adding $400 a race basically to the cost of these drivers, and that was a little excessive. And most of the drivers there, who typically are on pretty tight budgets, said absolutely not. And as I said, they didn't find any, but there was rumors that there was some people doing that had some of the higher budgets. Just kind of interesting.
That's a little interesting little thing.
How you doing over there, Tom? I see you kind of just
Hang it tough.
cruising along there. She looks slippery.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, once you get into the wall, you can't get off it.
I don't know. It looks real slippery, like something's gonna happen. check out Heath and Dwayne. They're just kind of, as you said earlier in the broadcast, just kind of consistency. We're at lap 37 of 100 here with CRA Street Stock Drivers Series presented by the Eskimo Brothers. And, oh, it looks like we might have a caution.
Yeah, that was all me, and I am done.
Tom decides to park it up for the evening. He has brought out a caution, which I'm sure that these guys are not going to complain about too much, because we have had a pretty good run here, although they are not going to be able to change their tires, but this could definitely change things for Travis and the guys behind him.
Yeah, not something I wanted to do there, but had to be done. I got a little too hot coming out of two, trying to stay with Travis, or at least kind of do what he's doing there, but with my tires, and I've already spun out before, it just makes no sense to keep going.
Totally understandable. But hey, now you can come back up in the broadcast booth with me.
Yep, I'm in the booth. I'm coming in the booth right now. Give me a second. I'll be right there. Give me 1 second. I'm taking down my wheel here, and then I will be joining you in the booth.
Sweet. Looks like Howard Pittman got the lucky dog there. He's going to bring her around. I'm not sure what Heath's doing. He can't change tires unless he's willing to take a lap. And even if he does change tires, he can only change one. This could be interesting here. We had a rules change. I'm pretty sure that they probably went over that in the drivers' meeting, and not exactly sure what he was doing. He was running great lines there. See if we can see what goes on here. Maybe just some fuel, I guess.
You can go in for fuel.
Hey, that might be a little strategy play there.
Yep, he just went. Helton went just for fuel. That's what I'm being told right now. All right, now that I'm back in the booth, I can actually get back to doing my original job tonight.
Welcome back, my friend and Eskimo brother. It has been actually a pretty good race so far, and you know, first caution is at lap 37. I think that's a record for us so far this year.
I'll tell you, Andy, getting that far for me was a big step.
This is a tough track.
Andy, I think if we would have had some laps in here, I think we could have ran pretty well. These guys are still, you know, they may be getting out to that lead, but that's just because of a lot of inexperience here.
Well, right, and I mean, I ran some practice laps here. It was a little tough. I was given some pointers and came out and took another run, and I felt better running that high line. Right. Like you said, if we would have had some practice laps, we probably could have ran here. Honestly, I mean, the only option for us to go out and race is if we, you know, don't broadcast these live and then come in and race and then broadcast them on a replay. But
yeah,
no one,
do that one time.
you know, maybe we will. Maybe like I said, we've got that non-points event coming up back here, I think, right, in a couple weeks.
Right. Again, appreciate everybody coming out. If you're interested in joining this series or any one of our other series, we're doing trucks right now Monday nights. Feel free to message American Stock Car on Facebook. They'll hook you up, and while you're there, check out the Eskimo Brothers. We got some funny shit. Now, if Heath Helton can win this race tonight, I do believe he may just take over the points race. But we'll see here. He did take gas. He's going to start in the back.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to matter. He's got a pretty awesome line. I think he's going to be able to regain some position. I think he actually might be a lap ahead of a couple of the cars that he's behind currently.
I do believe so. He's actually fourth. Really wanted to stick it out there a little longer, but I didn't want to be any more of a liability.
That is completely understandable, Tom.
I'm telling you guys, anybody who's watching that wants to get into this race or racing in general, you know, give them a shout. This is a blast. Even with my inexperience here tonight, you know, as Andy knows, my heart's pumping. You know, it's intense. You know, you try not to be the one who's going to mess up first. Basically, that's what it comes down to. But it's a hell of a good time, and the guys here are really fun to work with.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good guys in this community, and we want to build that. And we want to bring some more drivers in. And I would say, like, right now is a prime time to get into this racing. We actually had someone from our broadcast join the league, and he raced in his first race on Monday, and he actually did fairly well. And so I want to say congratulations to that person. You know who you are. Thanks for joining up and racing with us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we can't say enough how cool that is. Looks like we're going to go back green here, Andy. Travis McKinney's going to start off us in front there on the pole in row 1 with Dwayne Hall taking the inside this time. In the second row, looks like Heath Helton will be third and Howard Pittman will be fourth. And then you have Doug Sargent and Jerry Hinkle. As the pace car said, let's go Eskimo. Helton early, pushing on him. Forcing Hall to use that bottom line.
Oh.
Were you on the 20-second delay? As they go into turn 3 and 4, McKinney starting to pull away again with Heath Helton in second and Dwayne Hall in third. McKinney got him by about 4 car lengths.
Yeah, see, they're just really running turn 1 and 2 way up in the wall. You can see the scrape marks up there.
I think Helton and Hall are just hanging out, just riding along right now, letting McKinney try to burn up his tires, and hopefully they'll have something for him at the end.
Kind of interested to see where they're going to gain some more speed to be able to catch him, though. I mean, if he really pulls out and starts to dominate, they're not going to be able to catch back up to him.
Well, as you've seen in practice and in happy hour, spinouts do happen even with the most experienced. As you see McKinney get a little loose coming out of 4, as I'm just talking about it.
Yeah, Travis has pulled out to, an entire turn lane lead on those guys.
Well, from what I'm hearing from an inside source, they're about 75% on tires here. Once they get about 50, 60 laps in, you're really going to see a difference here.
So here's
Sorry, 70 laps in, because it looks like we're about 54 laps in at the moment.
So here's where it's going to really start to matter in this last, 50%, last, 30% of the race.
If you're running aggressively, you may pay for that on the back end here. So we'll see what happens to McKinney as he's gotten out to a huge lead. Helton and Hall playing the smart card right now, just waiting it out. A little tip for anybody who's inexperienced driving. If you're out front early in a race and you're running super aggressive and you see the old veterans dropping back, something's wrong.
Don't want to be leading early.
Kinney now working again through lap traffic, so we'll see how that ends up. If you want to pan back to Helton here, we got Helton and Hall going around Hinkle. Hall's looking like he's getting a little bit more aggressive.
They've been basically running a pretty consistent line the entire evening.
Well, they're not deviating from their plan no matter how far Travis gets out.
I suppose it's a sound strategy. I mean, really, even with Travis winning, a lot of the races, there's still a chance with these guys running close behind him to be able to overtake him in points just by taking a single or victory themselves or two.
Right, it's all about just finishing the race, being consistent in where you're finishing, and then knowing when to make that push.
Take some laps with Howard Pittman. I know I saw him earlier in the lobby early for practice.
Pittman does a real good job. I think if you're looking at Pittman there, he's one of our older drivers, but he really puts the effort in. He's got a lot of heart. The guy puts it all out there every time he comes to race.
As we see, Travis has gotten to quite a lead on those guys, and I know that Heath and Dwayne were really trying to save their tires for the end of the race, but we'll see, folks, if they're actually able to pull that strategy off. He's gained quite a lead on those guys.
Looks like we're closing in at 30 laps to go here, Andy.
If their strategy is going to pay off, it better pay off soon.
Well, it looks like Helton got away from Hall a little bit.
I don't want to be the one to say it, but, you know, packing them back up at this point could really make for an exciting end of the race.
Should have stayed out there. As we say in PUBG, the wild card.
Every group has one.
Every group. I'm usually the one. Got about 25 laps to go now. Hall's making a big push now. Closing the gap on Helton for second.
In that last turn there, when Dwayne passed Howard, he gave him a little bump. I don't know if you saw that, but that's why Howard drifted so bad up into the wall.
Gotta move him out of the way. Got 22 laps to go. I'm moving you out of the way. Especially with how far back they are. I mean, come on, you gotta go. McKinney's already crossed the start-finish line now. And then Helton and Hall now. So literally 4 or 5 seconds, and that is an eternity in racing.
I show 7 seconds of gap between them right now.
Hall going into the inside of Helton, coming out of 4 bangs, doors together. They're banging doors, side by side, going into 1 and 2. Coming out of 2, they are side by side. I think Hall's going to lose them here. Is Helton just giving it up? Oh, Hall gets a little tricky, and he's in the wall. Hall's in the wall, into 1. And Helton's pulling away. Now, usually we may have more drivers at this race, but because of availability issues, we were down to about 8 tonight, so including myself. So you'll see more and more as the season goes on. We're almost in the mid-season. We're almost there. We're going to be going probably well into September.
And then who knows? Maybe the late models will come after that.
We'll see what they want to do. We have less than 15 laps to go here.
Looks like Dwayne was able to close the gap a little bit with Heath.
He's righting the ship pretty damn fast. I think that's the race to watch there.
Everybody's sick of watching Travis win. Let's watch Heath. Words are hard. Let's watch Heath and Hall. Heath Elton and Dwayne Hall fight it out for second and third.
Yeah, Hall, I don't know if he's going to have enough for Heath.
Definitely not after spinning the way he did. He's probably lost a lot of whatever he had saved.
Well, he didn't really spin. He kind of just bounced off the wall and won. So who knows? He's slowly closing that gap, but as we're going into 10 to go here next time by when McKinney goes, 10 laps to go. It was only 1 or 2 cautions tonight. I think it was 2 cautions tonight. This has been a really good race, considering. Yes, McKinney's gotten out front, but the side-by-side race between Helton and Hall was really good. You know, even Pittman and Hinkle and Niels, when he was out there, you know, had decent runs.
It looks like Pittman and Sargent have kind of fallen into a line there and just are finally figuring out how to drive the track.
But once you've driven around enough, you'll understand it and, you know, like it.
Well, I'd like to see some of these guys come out here during the week, and I mean, they're always welcome to message other people on the mod to come out and drive with them if they want, you know. A lot of times we set up practice nights for some of the newer drivers or some of the more difficult tracks.
Not to cut you off here, we got Helton and Hall really closing the gap here. Hall is doing everything he can. He was right on his toes until coming out of 2. As soon as McKinney touches the line there, it will be 5 to go. Yeah, Jared Bartlett and Brett Hudson, we sure miss you out here, guys. Hall's going for the pass, coming out of 4. Can't clear it. Oh, we have a caution with 5 to go. Oh, the number 55 of Dwayne Hall getting into the 5 of Heath Helton. And we are under caution. I'm at a loss for words right now. That just changed things, everyone. That huge lead that Travis McKinney has on old-ass tires.
Gone.
But I think it is going to end under caution here. From what I'm getting from upstairs is saying that they may do a green right checker here. At least that's what's supposed to happen.
This could be the best, 3 minutes of our hour-long broadcast here.
This is the moment we've been waiting for. I think revenge may be in store if somebody can touch somebody else's bumper. Or the fact of Travis McKinney lost all that time. And Dwayne Hall sitting pretty in second place. If it wasn't real before, it's very real now.
I can't wait to go check out the replay later and see what happened between Dwayne and Heath there. I know he was going, going for the
Dwayne
pass,
bumped
but
him. He bumped him. I was watching the whole damn thing. Oh, they are saying it's probably going to end under caution.
maybe Dwayne could take Travis out under caution and then he wouldn't win. Just a little razzing. I'm sure it wasn't intentional.
No. But it will affect the points. And that is it. Your winner tonight is Travis McKinney. That makes 4 on the season for Travis. We'll get into interview him in a few moments.
Congratulations
Along
to
with
Travis.
Heath Helton and Dwayne Hall.
Yeah, because why not? We might as well get them all in here.
If we're continuing to watch Travis McKinney spin out, he's doing it because it's 4 wins on the season. He has 6 races and he's got 4 of them.
You guys are dominating.
Give us just one moment. We'll get the drivers in here and we'll do a post-race interview. Again, go check out racesimnation.net. It is your go-to source for all things American stock car. That is racesimnation.net.
I'm going to take everybody to the standings before this race, and Race Sim Nation, and probably tomorrow or the next day you'll be able to check out the updated standings.
You'll see that in a few minutes, actually.
In a few minutes.
User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your joined your channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for sticking around with us for the post-race interviews. Travis, gotta say, you felt nervous tonight. How did it feel to finally uh, take it home?
It was the car actually drove better than I thought it would. I was worried that the tires were going to fall off, and
Hmm.
I was just trying to. I wanted to get a gap because I knew Heath and Dwayne were going to save tires, so I was just trying to get a gap, and then I could back her down a little bit and just try to be smooth and not screw myself over. That was my phone messaging me.
That was
Did
his
you
nose. That was his nose whistling.
right? Did you have a moment during the race tonight where you really thought you could win it?
You know, we got a new tire model, so I didn't know if I was going to burn my stuff up, and I wasn't able to keep track of how my tires were doing. I just knew that, if I could get out and be smooth and hit my marks and not spit myself out, I felt pretty good through the first 3 quarters of the race.
Mhm.
The right rear was starting to get a little hot there toward the end, but I mean, I was still within. I think I ran fives through sevens for most of the race.
Wow. And Heath, don't be
Well,
shy.
you guys were watching this. You tell us what happened.
I didn't get to see it. Please do tell.
It looked like coming out of four, Dwayne gave Heath a little love tap that spun him out.
Yeah, but did Heath come off the wall down to me, or I go to him?
We'll have to go to the replay. I'm not really sure. I don't think he hit the wall. He may have come down a little bit, but I don't know if it was enough to negotiate that.
I was actually worried when that caution came out because none of us were aware that it was going to end under caution. And my issue was I didn't know if I was going to be able to get the restart because
Yeah,
it's really hard to get these cars up and going from 35 miles an hour.
Heath, what is your perspective on that late caution there?
I didn't really bother me. I was junk anyway, so.
Okay. Dwayne, is there anything you would have done differently tonight?
I should have tried to get past Heath a lot earlier than I did. Especially when I saw his car loose, I should have tried, and I didn't. I waited too damn long.
This truck is really, really hard to pass on.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You see me trying it. I was trying.
It seemed like you had a better chance in 1 and 2 rather than out of 3 and 4.
I had the preferred line. That was I had to. I was kind of disappointed in my qualifying effort, and I knew I wanted to get it out to the start because I didn't want to have to try to battle Heath, kind of like how Dwayne
Right.
was. Once my tires got hot, it's super easy to spin your car out, and it's really hard to stay off of each other there. So you kind of got to take, if you can get a spot, you got to take it within the first 4 or 5 laps.
Right.
I mean, you
I'm
got to try and put your cars in the same, two cars side by side in the same groove. It doesn't really work, but that's how you have to try and pass somebody there. That's all you got.
It was cool to watch you and Heath go at it for quite a while there, and then when you kind of hit the wall and won and kind of lost him for a little bit, you really closed in fast when you needed to. But by then, it was already kind of said and done.
Yeah, there's nothing to do about it. Once my right rear tire was gone, but it wasn't really gone, but you couldn't get underneath somebody and get on the throttle. So nothing you could do about it.
Right. Well, thank you guys for coming in tonight. We do appreciate having you. You guys, like top three, 1, 2, 3 in the point standings. I'm sure that's going to stay a little bit the same. It might adjust here 2 and 3 from what I can see. But yeah, thanks for coming on, guys.
All right, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for broadcasting.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
Yeah, these drivers really brought it and left it all out in the track. Oh, I agree. Even driving and stuff, I was thoroughly entertained throughout the evening. I guess what we'll do here as we end the show, we want to let you know June 21st, we'll be back at Anderson for 200 laps. And if you can remember the last race we had there, tempers really flared. And with the points starting to become a factor, I do believe that'll happen again. But yeah, and Brett Hudson has taken some time off, so hopefully we can try to get those two. I'm actually going to make it my personal mission to reach out to D'Alfonso and see if he's coming back to join us. So, yeah. But anyways, go ahead, Andy, and take us out. Giveaway. Oh yeah. Good night.